Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najwa Ulin Nuha. Today I would like to present you about 11. The topic 11 is talk about cognitive approach. That is divided into two theories. Is the first one is processing, and the second one is constructive. Okay, the first is processing. Processing is the theory of developed by Pineman and then Towell and Hawkins. And in processing, there is two materials: is information and then the ability or processability. In information, there is three developed. First is McLaughlin. That McLaughlin said that there is two information. How we get the information? The first is STM. STM and LTM, or we call it second language. We call it as short-term memories and long-term memories. That we call it is automation. That control the process, and then STM is short-term memories and long-term memories. Like STM, we get just only a moment, like for example, like student from Chinese come to this class or Universitas Andalas, and I want to say hi in the Chinese language. Then I ask someone or Google how we greeting in Chinese language, and then after I know that, I practice it. I say hello to this foreigner with and I didn't repeat it anymore. I didn't use it anymore, and we call it as short term memories. And long term memories, we get it long in our mind because the repetition or practice. And then the second is restructuring. Restructuring is like we have the rules, and then we just follow the rules. We know the grammar and we just follow it. And then the second is by Anderson. Anderson said there is two information. How we get information. The first is automation in long-term memories. Is divided into two parts. The first is declarative and then procedural. Declarative means that we know, and then procedural is we knowing how. And then that declarative, we know what the material, what the theories, and then we know how to use it. And Anderson also make and also develop the stage of learning. The first is what we call it cognitive. The first is cognitive, and then it like we learn first, and then the associative, like we practice after we learn. And then the last is what we call it autonomous. After we learn and then we practice, then we repeat it. And then the third is developed by O'Malley and Chemot. The learning strategies is divided into three also. The first is metacognitive, and then cognitive, and then social. And metacognitive is we make the planning before we learn, and then cognitive is the learn, and then social is our repeat and practice in our environment or our social. And then I forget talk about the differences between processing and constructive constructionist. Processing is separate between property and transition. That mean like we need the process actually, and the construction is emergent tester is like the connections, or we like no separation, or we practice, or we call as practice make perfect. And then after information, there's ability or the processability, that to clarify how the learner learn the second the linguistic of language. For example, like in what we call it, sharing the grammatical language one to other, like infection feature, and then to describe it, we have the level of it, level of or hierarchy, we call it hierarchy. And then the first is no sequence of constituent, and then no exchange information, and then phrasal, and then simplified subordinate, and then subordinate, and then the subordinate clause complex. And then sorry, okay, back to the material. And in development, there development stage also. The first is the order, or like subverb object, and then adverb proposition, and then verb separation, and then verb second, and then verb final. And then in the verb saliency is motivation, or a stimuli, or as motivation of the learner of to manipulate the information, and then it can be teachable. And also operating principle is to help a learner in acquiring language. The first is attention, and then encode or entering, and there's no exception, and then semantic, and then grammar. It's like we get language, we learn in our from our attention, in our environment, on our family, on our parents, and then our encode or entering, and then no exception. We entering to our device, to our mind, of course, and then no exception, no filter. And then after we know the semantics, the meaning, and the last is we know the grammar. What else?
Baru petang mau lulus kuliah. Baru petang sudah.
And then next we talk about the constructionist. First is brain, and our brain or neuron network is where it depends on activeness or our repetition. In first language, we use a memory in memorizing past participle of irregular verb, like we say it, we didn't say go in the past tense like go at. It is over generalization, but we call it as a when. The correct one is when. And then the second language, we use more memory. For example, like in French, in memorize noun for gender. For example, like the end of ete or the end of tion or shin is used for female gender. I think it's all.